Guys, welcome back to this amazing channel, right? I'm gonna start calling it an amazing channel because not just because of these amazing insights that I get to share with you guys every single week, but because of the delivery of these bangers, right? My goal is to, make sure that it's cool to actually be smart and to make mills online, right? And when I say mills, I'm talking about millions, right? But I see a lot of people who achieve the financial success that I would aspire to achieve myself. But I get a hard time connecting with them because I just feel like they're not cool enough, right? I just feel like they're not themselves. They're just like business. Like if it's not about business, then they won't talk. They're reading every day. They're like doing all this stuff, right? But I'm like, relax. Like there's more to life than just making money, right? But today, guys, I have something pretty amazing, right? On Monday, or actually last week, I was listening to this interview by Chamath and Lex Friedman, where Chamath was asked like, hey, if you were to start another tech company or another social media company, what would you do, right? And I was checking out this interview, and the answer that he gave was like blew my mind, right? So what I did after that, and for those who don't know, Chamath is a billionaire. He was a senior executive at Facebook, right? So he's a pretty smart guy, right? But on Monday, I prepared a little presentation for clients in our program, right? Clients who've paid tens of thousands of dollars to actually be on that call. But this presentation was so good that I was like, guys, I'm sorry that you guys paid a lot of money to be here, but this insight cannot actually be kept in a program locked up, right? Because it's actually stupid to sell information, right? My goal, guys, is that every single time that I access something that can help you guys or something that would have helped me become smarter and become a better entrepreneur, is like I'm always going to be releasing it. I'm not gonna gate information from you guys, right? So please find this video really helpful, right? But another thing that's really cool is that starting with this video, okay, I want to start something pretty special, right? So we're getting close to the holiday season, right? But I want to start something called the $500,000 season, right? And within this season, I want to actually start giving back, right? This year has been an amazing year for me. I've achieved goals that I never thought were possible, at least not in my second year of business, right? We're going to do multiple 7 figures in revenue, in cash collected this year. And like, guys, like, I guess I'm surprised of the success that we're seeing, right? So I want to start giving back, right? And the way that you're gonna get access to these wins, I'm actually gonna start giving away $500 every single Sunday to the people who win this thing that I'm about to share, right? So every single Wednesday, I'm gonna be releasing a special video, right? And the person who likes the video, who leaves the best comment around the thing that they found the most valuable in that video, right? And if you actually do tag me on your Instagram, once you've actually left your comment on the video, every single Sunday, I'm gonna be picking a winner, right? And I'm gonna be sending you $500. I'm gonna be doing it every single week until the last week of December, right? So I'm gonna be giving away a few $1,000s. And the reason why I'm doing it is because, well, first of all, I wanna give away some money, right? I think it's always good to give away money. For those who don't know, like every time I take money out of the bank to actually have on myself, and then I like to give it back to people who are homeless. Because, if you are a winner and you figure out a way to get more resources, the goal is not to keep resources just to yourself. Like, try to spread the love. And I call it spreading the love, because I think that energy, resources is actually a way to transfer love. And if you really think about it, right? If you really work hard, take care of your family, you're technically, showing them love. If you buy someone a nice car, you're showing them your appreciation. If you fly a girl out, you're showing her your appreciation. All these little things. So for me, I want to give back to you guys, because without you guys, I don't think I would be here, or we would be doing the things that we're doing. So yeah, all you have to do, leave a comment around the thing that you're going to find the most valuable in this video, in this training today. Like this video, subscribe, of course. I'm not going to force you to subscribe, but please subscribe, and tag me on Instagram when it's done, right? I'm going to be picking a winner from the YouTube comments, and then yeah, I'm excited to give away some money. If you also want a training on how we scale businesses past, add an extra $500K a year in new ARR, check out the training below. But guys, please enjoy this video. And I personally think that the training that you guys are about to receive is gonna make me a 9-figure entrepreneur in the next 5 years, right? And I can bet on it, and we're gonna come back to this video and I'm gonna show you guys that it's possible, right? But please enjoy this video. I love you. Bye-bye. All right. So I'm gonna just get straight into this training. So the other day, and I did share this video on my Instagram story, but I want to explain it differently because it's like I just get different understanding. The more I just see things, the more I understand. It's like I've realized that like my understanding doesn't necessarily it doesn't scale like horizontally. It just scales vertically, meaning I just go really, I learn the same thing, but I learn it a little bit better each single time, right? And my goal is that every time that I learn something and I understand it a bit better, I'd love to share with you my understanding of it so that you guys can actually use these same arguments, the same understanding to go out in the marketplace and sell it. Because at the end of the day, if you don't understand the thing you're selling better than the prospect, you will never sell as good as you can, right? I see a lot of people who think they can skip the understanding part, and I'm like, well, if you want to just keep stay broke, then yeah, you can half-ass your understanding of concepts, but like prospects will inevitably understand that you're just trying to fake it, right? So yeah, so cool. So I was listening to this podcast by Chamath and Lex Friedman. So for those who don't know Chamath, he used to work for Facebook. He was one of the senior executives at Facebook when they started out in 2008, 2000. I don't know when he started working there, but when he got out, he owned some good shares of the company, and he had a lot of capital, and then now he's going into investing in companies. He's created Social Capital, which is an investment fund. And he was asked, and by the way, this guy is like, he's not a genius, but he has the level of understanding. And this is something that I've realized a lot lately, is that the people who make a tremendous amount of money don't make it because they're good at acquisition. They don't make it because they're good at building a business. They get to that level because they genuinely understand how the world works. And when I say the world works, I mean they understand humans, they understand systems, they understand marketplaces, they understand investments, they understand everything about everything, right? Now, they may not necessarily be engineers. I mean, actually, this guy is an engineer, right? But they generally seek understanding of a lot of things, right? So if you're looking to scale your business, you've got to realize that like eventually you're going to need to get out of just TikTok or just like all these little things and actually grow your foundation of knowledge, right? Because the more you understand about a lot of things, the more you can have an edge over your competitors, right? So yeah, I want to just play a little segment of this interview, and then we'll get to and then I'll use what he shared to explain essentially my process. Cool. So let me just share this interview. Now, I don't know which part it was. I'm going to need to figure it out.
It's through brands like you.
Funny enough, I checked it out.
First of all, let me give you a backdrop.
Okay, cool. So again, he's asked in this video, like, hey, what would you do? What would you do if you were to start a new tech company or a social media company? And his answer was he wouldn't actually build one. And this was his explanation.
If you said if you ran Facebook for a day, let's extend that. If you were to build a new social network today, how would you fix Twitter? How would you fix social media? If you want to answer a different question, is if you were Elon Musk, somebody you know, and you were taking over Twitter, what would you fix?
I thought about this a little bit. First of all, let me give you a backdrop. I wouldn't actually build a social media company at all. And the answer is, the reasoning is the following. I really tend to believe, as you probably got in a sense, of sort of patterns and probabilities. Probabilistically answer where are we going in apps and social experiences. What I would say is we spent the first decade building platforms and getting them to scale. And if you want to think about it, again, back to sort of this poker analogy, others' mistakes minus your mistakes is the value. Well, the value that was captured was trillions of dollars, essentially to Apple and to Google. And they did that by basically attracting billions of monthly active users to their platform. Then this next wave were the apps, Facebook, QQ, Tencent, TikTok, Twitter, Snapchat, that whole panoply of apps. And interestingly, they were in many ways an atomized version of the platforms, right? They sat on top of them. They were an ecosystem participant, but the value they created was the same. Trillions of dollars of enterprise value, billions of monthly active users. Well, there's an interesting phenomenon that's kind of hiding in plain sight, which is that the next most obvious atomic unit are content creators. Now, let me give you two examples. Lex Friedman, this random crazy guy, Mr. Beast, Jimmy Donaldson, just the two of you alone, add it up, okay? And you guys are going to approach in the next 5 years 1 billion people. The only thing that you guys haven't figured out yet is how to capture trillions of dollars of value. Now, maybe you don't want to, and maybe that's not your stated mission.
Right. But let's just look at Mr. Beast alone, because he is trying to do exactly that, probably.
Yeah, and I think Jimmy is going to build an enormous business. But if you take Jimmy and all of the other content creators, right, you guys are atomizing what the apps have done. You're providing your own curated news feeds. You're providing your own curated communities. You let people move in and out of these things in a very lightweight way, and value is accruing to you. So the honest answer to your question is I would focus on the content creator side of things, because I believe that's where the puck is going. That's a much more important shift in how we all consume information, content, and are entertained. It's through brands like you, individual people that we can humanize and understand are the filter.
But aren't you just arguing against the point you made earlier, which is what you would recommend is the invest in the AGI, the depersonalization? Because
they could still be a participant in that end state. If that happens, you have the option value of being an enabler of that, right? You can help improve what they do. Again, you can be this bare metal service provider where you can be a tax.
Yeah.
Right. You can participate in everything that you do, every question that's asked, every comment that's curated. If you could have more intelligence as you provide a service to your fans and your audience, you would probably pay a small percentage of that revenue. I suspect all content creators would. And so it's that stack of services that is like a smart human being. It's like, how do you help produce this information? You would pay a producer for that. I mean, maybe you would, but so back to your question. So what would I do? I think that you have to move into that world pretty aggressively. I think that right now you first have to solve what is broken inside of these social networks. And I don't think it's a technical problem, but just to put it out there, I don't think it's it's one where there are these nefarious organizations. That happens. Brigading XYZ, that happens. But the real problem is a psychological one that we're dealing with, which.
All right, cool. So for me, he's going to go into more stuff, but like for me, the part that I want to talk about is this first part where he talks about how Google, Apple have created these, have created the trillions of dollars of they've taken out of the marketplace trillions of dollars, right? And guess what? Facebook, all these social platforms have taken out trillions of dollars in the marketplace doing the same thing that Apple did and Google did, right? And then the way that he's explaining it is that the way that, the next wave or the next trend is actually not to try to recreate what Apple or what TikTok or what Facebook is doing, but instead is to try to recreate what they've done, but doing it by leveraging a personal brand or a brand of a human, right? So let me try to make it visual here. So I'll try to use circles. So he says that, so this is what happened essentially, right? So there is, let's say A is the first people or the first companies. So Apple and Google, right? These are companies that created the platforms, right? So what they did is they simply created platforms where they attracted X, which is 1 billion users, right? And then they've also delivered Y, which is services. They've made our lives easier, right? And most of the time they did it for free at first, or to be honest, a lot of the value that they provide is free, right? Now they'll charge everything about everything after that, right? Like Google doesn't just make money. Like Google doesn't make money from search, but they make money from people searching, meaning from advertisers. Apple doesn't necessarily make, the 1K that you pay them isn't how they make most of their money. I mean, they'll make a good chunk of it from the money we spend on their platforms, on their technology, like an iPhone, but they'll make a lot more money on other things, right? Because they generally own the thing. So everything that's happening on the thing, they own it, right? But check this out. So this is A. They figure out a way to get users, 1 billion of them, and they built a mechanism or a platform that makes it easy for everything that we want in life not to happen, right? Some did communication, all that good stuff, right? But then there's also a next trend, which is B. We can call them the apps, right? Which are the social apps. And what did they do? They did the same fucking thing. They got 1 billion users and made our lives easier. So they were like an atomized version of the bigger thing. And how did they do it? They got 1 billion users. Why? Because they created something that makes our lives easier, and they did it almost for free. And they ended up charging for the fact that they now had an audience, right? Now, the next thing, and this is where these offers around, building people's audiences and short form content is such a crucial thing, is that when the next trend of things, these are not, the goal is not to recreate the thing. It's already been created, and the apps have figured out a way to make money out of it. Now, how can we get humans to tap into this same process? How can we get each single human, or anyone with a brand, anyone with a company, to get as close as they can to 1 billion users and get their services sold for and make billions of dollars, right? If you look at, by the way, I'll give you guys clear examples of people who are killing it and doing it this way pretty well, right? And you'll see that these are the most, the people who are playing this game really well are becoming the people who are the most valuable, right? So essentially, but the big picture thing that I want you to understand is that building an audience is essentially what Apple and Google did to make trillions of dollars. It's also what Facebook, TikTok are doing to make billions of dollars. The unit thing that makes these companies trillions of dollars, or make them worth trillions, is this. And I want you guys to never forget it. It's this. And we can even pick another company. What makes Amazon so valuable? It's because they've optimized for more users. If we look at the flywheel effect of Amazon, I'll show you guys one thing. If we look at the flywheel of Amazon, this is a tangent, but I need to show you guys. So low price, more sellers gives us what? More products. More products means more buyers, right? More buyers, we can reduce even more the low prices. Now, what are they optimizing for? They're optimizing for more buyers, meaning Amazon reduces the price. They get more sellers, where they get more buyers here. And then when something has more buyers, more sellers are here. And then here it's more products, and then more products, they can reduce even more their prices even lower, right? So they make this here so they can optimize to have more buyers, because people love cheap stuff, right? And then if there's more buyers on a platform, so Amazon is really like the biggest e-commerce audience that you can find, right? And that's why they're the biggest e-commerce company, because they optimize for a bigger audience. And then if I'm selling to agency owners and Iman has the biggest agency audience, then who do you think I would pay money to tap into to get access? Like, I would not pay Facebook to get me, like if we lived in the best of, if Iman was like, hey, I want to monetize my audience, I would give him 100 grand cash today, because guess what? He owns the audience, right? But anyway, let's go back into who is playing this game really well. Let's look at Iman, right? If you look at Iman, the reason why, I don't know how much money he's going to make, but he's going to make so much money that I'm actually even afraid. I hope he doesn't fall into drugs and addiction. I hope he remains a shark, right? But this weekend, guys, like, this dude is about to make an insane amount of money, right? Why is that? Because in the last few months, he's gone from having like 150K subs to 1 million something subs on YouTube. Now, why do you guys think that he spent a lot of time, doing this real stuff, getting people to paying people to go comment on other people's videos, right? Not even that. You guys have probably seen this trend of people who are making videos around gurus, right? Why do you think they know that anything related to the main thing is going to get them a bunch of views, right? But funny enough, Iman, or really anyone else, is going to leverage these interviews or these videos done about them, because every single view done on another channel talking about them is actually their channel, if you think about it, right? So any attention is good attention. So that's why you'll see Iman, posting stuff, getting people to go ahead and go comment on these other YouTubers' channels to try to get them more views. But then inevitably, the main person who's going to end up with a bigger audience is Iman, because the same people who are watching these videos are going to go back to Iman, right? But anyway, so the thing that I want you guys to understand, and another guy who's been killing it on YouTube, blowing up, is Thomas, right? Thomas is actually a client on the VA placement offer. Thomas, if you're watching this, you still haven't gotten your VAs. I don't know. I mean, I understand you're getting a lot of attention, so you have other things on the table. But if you look at the way that Thomas, the way that he's been going crazy off the chart, I mean, he's killed it with his subs. I think he went to like over 20,000 subscribers in like a month, right? But I want you guys to see how much authority he's been commanding because of his growth of the audience. He's been getting on calls with the founder of Go High Level. Who's the other guy? Charlie Morgan got on an interview with him. Who's the other guy? Who's the other agency? I forgot the other guy that did another call together, right? Joel Kaplan, right? They had a call. Why do you think all these guys are going to Thomas? Because Thomas has figured out this play. He's figured out a way to get an audience. Now, he hasn't gotten billions of users, right? But he's generally optimizing for this, right? And that's what I want you guys to understand. In this world, or in this play of social media, the way you build an insanely valuable not even company, but the way you extract the most amount of capital in the marketplace is if you do the same thing that these companies have done, right? And for anyone who's pushing out there an offer around content and growing an audience and all that good stuff, I want you guys to keep this in mind. What you guys are doing is essentially what the apps have done. You're helping a human who has a business not just focus on client acquisition, but focus on like, hey, how can we give you leverage? And the only way you get leverage is by getting 1 billion users and doing whatever you want, right? Now, there's also another mistake that, at least for me, when I started in the game, I think people were making this mistake, right? They were making the mistake to charge for knowledge, right? Meaning, a lot of people, sell courses, right? A lot of people sell courses, but they don't understand this. But do you know why it's a dumb thing to sell courses? Because they don't understand the following thing. The goal is to get users. The goal is not to make money. The goal is to get an audience. The goal is not to fucking make money. Because once you have an audience, making money is inevitable, okay? So now, what I'm going to tell you guys is the following, and you guys should be telling this to your clients too. Do not fucking try to sell and add friction to people consuming your content. I'm actually going to be posting this video on YouTube. Why? Because I genuinely want to give the most amount of fucking value to people who haven't done business with me. Because if I help them, if I build Google, if I build Facebook, something that helps them for free, guess what? Facebook did not charge for an app. Google, who here has paid Google for search? Never. How easy do you think it is to use Google when it's not billing you? Of course, everyone is going to fucking use Google, right? Now, the small-minded business owners will be like, hey, please create $1,000 course and then just make 100K a month. I'm like, bro, why are you trying to make 100K a month when you can make $1 million a month, right? Instead of selling that course, and guess what? Who has done this really well? Look at Hormozi. He wrote one of the most amazing books around offers. He made it 99 cents. And that was only because Amazon couldn't fucking let him make it free. What did he do? He offered the thing that the market wanted the most for free. In exchange of what? In exchange of the fucking audience. And guess what, guys? This is where you see patterns. What did Google do? They built one of the best platforms on earth. They put knowledge, all the knowledge in the fucking universe for free. All you need to do is just type keywords, like just type what you're looking for and you get it, right? Now you have these info gurus who are trying to sell information, but I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you trying to do? Google is selling that shit for free. Do you really think you're going to build a valuable company selling for information, something that is already free? That's crazy, right? So now here is the play. We're going to optimize for a few things, right? We're going to optimize for free shit, and we're going to optimize for users, for audience. This is all that it is, right? So let me show you guys. This is literally all that it is. This is the only thing you guys need to understand. Free shit, billion users, free shit, billion users, and we just keep this feedback loop going as fast as you can. And then once you have a good audience, do a little, 5-day challenge like Iman is doing, or do a little like call to action, launch a little cold email offer like I'm about to launch, right? And make $100,000 a week. It's easy work, right? Now, when you're selling your service, right, you're going to need to figure out a way to change your client's mindset around understanding that, like, hey, we're trying to optimize and be an atomized version of Facebook, of Google, right? And then we're going to monetize it after. Don't worry about the monetization. We just need eyeballs. Okay. So yeah, so that's my play too. My goal is to grow the audience, give away knowledge for free, get people to get people real value, right? And then if I have a mechanism, right? So of course, since I can't sell knowledge, I need to sell something else. So right now we're selling mostly implementation. So yeah, hopefully this helped. But again, all that we can really, if we were to summarize everything up, is that the goal is to make every single company owner an atomized version of Google content creators, right? And then just get people to own their own audiences, right? And then make a shit ton of money from that audience, right? Yeah, guys, because essentially everything we're doing is the same thing, right? Because if you really think about it, every content creator, every single brand should have the following. They should have their own platform. And by platform, I mean community, right? And within that community, they should be solving for different things. They should be solving for news, right? Just like Facebook has a newsletter. They should be solving for problem, right? So whatever thing the niche is dealing with, they should be solving for access, right? So if someone wants to follow a superstar in that niche, right, then they should be, they should have multiple things, right? So just like Facebook has different features, then within your audience, within your community, you need to have these same features. You need to be delivering like value, right? And then within that, just have a little funnel that leads people back to your main product. The sales process part is easy, guys. We know everything about selling. We know everything about booking meetings, right? But I think that a lot of people are forgetting about how to actually build an audience, right? So hopefully this was helpful. But yeah, this is just a little understanding of mine that I think helped me understand just the value of, because it's like, until this billionaire explained it that way, I was like, I mean, I knew audience was important, but then I never really connected it with what Google and Apple have done. But now I'm like, what the fuck? Oh shit, right? Because now you're like, bro, I'm tapping into the same thing that has created trillions of dollars. All I need to do is how can I give them the thing that they value the most, and then get their attention, have them become users or consumers of my content. And then from there, figure out a way to deliver more free value, and then attach a monetization model to this thing. And then it's like, it's a feedback loop of never ending money, right? Sometimes I stress about money, but then I remember that I can't actually ever go broke, ever. Like, I don't know if you guys realize it, but I generally cannot go broke, right? Why? Because I've not only just became good at acquisition, but now I'm really transitioning to really building an audience, and I can't wait to spend so much money on ads, because I generally don't even care about a return. I just need more users, right? So everyone here who's helping their clients, if you can figure out a way to instill this thing that I just shared with you guys today, I think the market will be resistant to it though, right? Because a lot of people can't think long term. But if you can find clients who are smart and you show them the same thing that I just showed you guys, well, it's going to be really cool. But yeah, we'd love to, if you guys want to say anything, just raise your hand or mute yourself.
Huge insights, to be honest. I think like what you mentioned, the fact that we're tapping into something that made trillions of dollars already, it's like it's the same process, right? And it made me think about how smartphones were delivered in the first place. Like in the first place, smartphones were for free, right? Nobody paid for them. You got a deal with your I don't know, your company, whatever, with the service provider, and then they made you addicted to that, and now everyone needs an iPhone or needs a fucking smartphone, right? Even if they're poor. It's huge. 100%. And not even they haven't cared about monetization, but now it's not that these like platforms like Facebook, Google, whatever, they can print money on demand. It's not only that. Platforms like TikTok not only take your money, but they take your time and attention. And if we manage to do that with our audience, it's like owning them in some way, which is kind of shady, but it's so powerful, right?
Oh, powerful. Yeah. Nice. No, 100%. I didn't think about that. I didn't think about, the fact that phones were not sold. But yeah, guys, if you wanted a phone today, like you can go and get a phone starting at like $50 a month, right? Like nothing, no great companies actually charges for anything up front. Because the goal is to go as fucking fast to getting to a lot of users as fast as possible. Because once you get it at a specific scale, the thing that you own in and of itself is so valuable that you can capture insane value from other people wanting to hit up this audience, right? So there's really two ways. Now, the beautiful thing about us business owners is that we own the audience, but we're also ourselves, we monetize that same thing. Facebook doesn't necessarily monetize their audience, right? They get other businesses because they're so at scale that like they wouldn't actually be able to sell enough things to the audience, right? To make the kind of money they make. So all they do, they just sell the attention, right? So the goal is how fast can you get to an insane level of an insane size of audience, and then sell them your service, right? But if you can't sell them your service, like let's say as an example, like let's say like Thomas, he's now built a crazy, he's trying to build a crazy audience of agency owners, right? Like I could generally be like, hey Thomas, do you want 10 grand? Let's do an interview. And then I'll just need access to your audience, right? Because now if he doesn't have the infrastructure to sell to that audience, I can be the person, he can literally become Facebook, right? So like that's just something that's really good to think about. And I think who was here? Patrick, he's running an e-com agency and he's running a brand himself. But one of the offer that we're going to be working on together is building communities for brands. And I think he was so fast with acting, but he made a post around this mechanism because he has done it for his own brand, right? And he got like a meeting with Triple Whale the same fucking day, right? And got a few like 4 leads interested. So I mean, I don't want to go too much in depth on that, but guys, this concept around building audiences is, I mean, to be honest, everyone here should be fucking doing it. Like if you're selling ads and you don't have a component of turning those fucking returns into, guys, like if you're just spending your clients' money every month and you have no way to turn those impressions and regrouping them and just congregating them into a single spot, you're generally a scammer, if I can say that, right? Generally. I would never spend money on Facebook, giving my money to Facebook, only to keep giving them more money to hit up the same people. That's crazy, right? Because guys, to make millions of dollars, you only need like 1,000 people. 1,000 people is a good audience to make millions a year. You don't need, I mean, I see a lot of influencers with a bunch of audience, but they don't really know how to make money from it. I'm like, bro, you're so crazy. But anyway, yeah, anyone had any question?
Yeah. So I don't know, maybe I'm approaching this kind of from the wrong frame of mind or whatever, but I'm wondering, what would you recommend to people who are trying to use the attention they're getting right now to book meetings? Like, because for ourselves, like, for example, all the attention that we're trying to drive with our content and stuff like that is to book leads so that we can start selling people right away. So we're not really optimizing for an audience right now. How would one who's like kind of starting off and still needing to get meetings and optimize for that still go about building their audience? Because you're at the point now where you can divert a whole bunch of money into ads to just like get people into your fucking Facebook group or follow you on Instagram or whatever. Yeah. Like, it's not like we're doing bad, but we're just not there yet where like the capital we're spending now is all on VAs to outreach to get more calls.
Yeah.
So,
but how much outreach do you think your VAs are doing per day?
Right now we're scaling up to 500 a day.
Perfect. So do you think you can get 5 people joining a group a day out of that 500? So you don't need a crazy ton of like, all you really need to grow an audience is just be doing either outreach, spending money on ads, and create valuable assets for that niche. So like for me, if I was like, guys, like with 500 outreach a day, 200, 300 outreach per day, you can grow a community of 1,000 people in less than 60 days. If you actually really like understand it, because all you need to do is do a bunch of outreach. All the people that say no or tell you to go fuck off, you just say, okay, cool, man. That's okay. Just, okay, join this group at least so then I can give you some free value, right? or spend 1 week or 2 weeks or a month going back to all the prospects that your VAs have hit up and send them the link to join your Facebook group, and have it a systematic thing where, hey, this prospect is interested for the first thing. Cool. Then at least let's get them into our audience, because the audience is free and there's less friction to actually joining that group. Right. So it's easy, but like, yeah, please make, I mean, again, so this thing, I just said that, hey, if you're spending money on ads, and not creating an audience for your clients, then you're scamming them. And then if you're doing outreach every day, but you don't have a call to action to join your audience, then you're also scamming yourself, or at least losing a lot of value from your money you're already spending on VAs, right? So you're wasting resources. Because, and that's why I just released the CRM, right? I was like, guys, if you're doing a bunch of outreach a day and you're getting on sales calls, make sure you're building your list, make sure you're building your email list, make sure you have your CRM, right? And just have a sequence after 30 minutes after the sales call, inviting that person to join the Facebook group for more value. If you don't have that sequence in place, then you'll go 6 months and get on 100 sales calls, and those 100 people will never ever buy from you because all you did was hit them up once, or got them one single sales call, or they only heard about you once, which is pretty bad.
And
right?
where can we find that CRM that you were talking about?
It's Go High Level. It's like you just need to, 1 second, I'll just try to see if I can.
I'd seen you'd had a link somewhere on it, because I'd seen you had like some sort of VSL.
I'll just put the link in the chat. But yeah, so the thing is, you can go, if you're using it for your clients, so you're using the agency account, then you probably won't sign up through here, because this is more of like a discounted Go High Level option, because we have the agency account, and we're giving we can reduce the price of the CRM to like $69. Normally it's $97 a month, but you also get a bunch of like funnels, onboarding funnels if you want them, different sequences, and you can just sign up. It's $69 a month. And but no, guys, everyone needs a CRM. So it's not really something, it's not like optional. Like, you need a system to manage all your prospects and everything down the line. But yeah, any other questions?
You're going to be like The Rock and start a tequila brand or something now with the audience. Yeah,
I have to, right? Because guys, like, so there is a cost to making money, right? For sure. Right now we're doing, right now my team is getting big, right? So there is a lot of cost to fulfilling at the scale that we fulfill for, but I genuinely love it because it gives me a moat. Like no other, I don't know anyone else in the agency space who has the infrastructure that we have. We have the email, we have the VA placement. Last month, just the VA placement alone did almost it became a 7-figure thing, right? We're like 8K away from being a 7-figure company just by itself. So it's like, I've spent a lot of time building infrastructures, right? And with an audience, I just give them a better mechanism, right? And at the cost that we do it at, it's really affordable, right? So I'm like, my goal is to generally scale the audience, get really fucking known, right? Because it's inevitable. And then generally sell the best services for these people, right? At least for people running service businesses. I don't necessarily just want to stay to agency. I don't want to just sell to consultants. Anyone who goes through a course who needs help scaling, hey, come in, let's build a few things for you, a few setters, and then let's make you some money. But yeah, this is the guys, this is where it's at. 1 second. This is where it's at. Yeah. Anybody had any question about this?
Serge, could you go, maybe, apologies about my voice, but I'm not sure if you can hear me, but
I can hear it.
Could you just go through how you're doing this at the moment? I know you have the 5-day challenge, but how you're directing all of this attention towards the group? Like, what system do you use, or is it just a simple message to say, like, join the group?
Yeah. So for me, we're doing it in a few manners, right? So I guess for me right now, one of the biggest, so the way that I'm doing it is, one is YouTube. So every single channel, so like all the outreach, so like I'll say like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, even LinkedIn, even email, right? All these so we're doing this in a few ways. So there is this process of like, hey, this is like outbound. So I have outbound prospecting efforts on all these channels, right, going on. And then there's also some inbound traffic, right? All this is being thrown to YouTube, right? Everything is being directed to YouTube because why? Because I know a lot of people will optimize for their Facebook group or their little group or Discord community, but I generally want to first grow. I think there's different type of funnels. There's different stages of a funnel, even when you're growing an audience. I don't think you should first just optimize for your own group. I think you should optimize for the platform that gets you the most organic, or where the people go look for answers on, right? So meaning I could easily just optimize for my Facebook group here, but it would actually be dumb because if I spread all the sauce in the Facebook group, which is a restricted like area, like you have to answer questions in order to join, then less people will be joining, right? So what I do instead is I drop all the sauce, the free sauce. So essentially this is my Facebook. This is my Facebook or my Google or my Apple strategy, meaning I'm building the most value for free on YouTube, right? And then I'm getting a bunch of views, and then I'm driving that traffic back to a Facebook group, right? And then I'm dropping even more value here, right? I'm going to start going live a bit more, right? But then after that, monetization is pretty simple. I just have setters and so monetization is really simple. Monetization is done through setters, email list, CTAs on my stories, etc. Right? So the goal is like, where is the platform where you can provide the most free value, right? But everything here, of course, if I'm doing also some paid ads, I'll also, I guess I'll do this. So paid ads will go from here to like a VSL, and then the VSL will actually be driving people back to the Facebook group because I want to go back to everything here, right? And then also these people will also be sent on the thank you page. There's actual videos of my YouTube channel, because YouTube is like generally where everything should be, at least if you're in the information B2B space, because people go there for answers. So you better be the person who gives them the answers that they're looking for. But yeah, so yeah, it's essentially the same thing. It's like, how can we recreate what Apple and Google and Facebook, the social apps, have done, but do it as people, like where you don't need a 100,000 employees to do it, right? You can just try to give value and get users. So give free shit away. If you're like Hormozy, then make your course free and give it away for free. Get a lot of attention for it, right? Oh, people are going to be like, oh my God, this is so much value. And then you're going to get a bunch of users, AKA consumers. And then the more stuff you keep giving away, the bigger your audience grows. And at some point you have such a big audience that like to make $1 million is like, you just need to launch one offer. And then, or you can either launch it through your own offers, right? Or you can genuinely start monetizing it the way that Facebook does it, where you get other people to pay to advertise to your audience, right? That, or simply just, build a bunch of stuff, right? The way that Hormozy is doing it, right? The way that he's monetizing his audience is pretty funny, actually. He's getting two things from his audience, right? He's using it just like a funnel to get qualified companies, right? So people doing 3Ms to 10 mil plus per year, right? But what he's getting even more is he's getting talent, right? The talent that he's getting from his audience is insane. So when he's getting these companies, in order to scale them, guess what? They need talent. Now, Hormozy doesn't need to go on Indeed and post a job post. He can just post to his audience, and guess what? He's just going to come in and feed his thing. So his audience is not only is it getting him clients, but the audience is also getting him the audience and the talents and the resources that he needs to help these companies go from $10 to $15 million a year. So the goal is like, really, how can you now, of course, one of the questions that John asked is like, hey, how can you do it if you're just starting out? Now, the truth is, it's not easy to grow an audience. Like, it's not easy at all, right? It takes time. it takes a lot of repetition. But once it starts, it's like, that's it. You never really have to worry about anything else down the line. But like everyone here should be starting to do it. Everyone here should be starting to invest resources, time into getting there. Cool. Cormac, what's up with your voice?
I went out on Saturday night, and maybe I was being a bit louder than I thought I was, but yeah, I mean, I had to cancel a couple of calls today because I managed to sign one client this morning, but after that,
Nice.
it proper left, and yeah, it's I don't think it's the best look for my business at the moment. So,
No.
yeah, I've been meaning to give a guy a chance at taking some discovery calls, or the initial kind of triage calls. So I guess it's maybe a sign to do that. So
100%.
no, we're doing good. I think every time you mention this point, it's just slightly drifted out of my focus or mind that it should be a big emphasis to grow the audience. But yeah, no, I just don't. I don't think you can emphasize the importance of it. Even like the long-term residual effects for us are starting to take place. Like people who've consumed content and yeah, I think that's the bit we were missing, going straight to the Facebook group when we still had no authority. So I think building the authority with obviously the free information and YouTube, so that then the Facebook group it becomes a non-negotiable. It's like, yeah, let me get in there as quick as possible.
100%. Yeah. No, man.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I think I've got to go drink some honey and lemon and
Please.
get ready for another call. So yeah, thank you very much, man.
Yeah, no, thank you, man. Thank you for jumping on. I appreciate you, man. Cool. Anybody had any last questions before we end this bad boy?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I launched my hiring VSL last week. And I got 22 people to pay for like the inscription fee, if that's how you call it. So yeah. So now I have 22 people and I have no idea how to manage them. So
okay,
what do you
cool.
say?
Yeah, what you need to do is really simple. 22 people though is a lot of people. That's a lot of people.
I know, but I can get maybe like 3 to 4 good ones after like the 2-week trial, I guess.
Yeah. So what I want you to do is the following. Let me just write it down. I think the ramp up should be there. In 1 second. I'll show you what our ramp up process.
But my question is, how should I like distribute them on like these social platforms? Should they like all of them should be on IG, like the 20 of them using 2 accounts each, or how does it work?
Get them to pick. So have like 3 platforms. Have Instagram. So what niche are you going after again?
Coaches and consultants.
Coaches and consultants.
Coaches.
Okay. So do Instagram, Facebook, and I'll probably test Twitter or LinkedIn out, right? And just have 3 selections and have each of the 22 people select which platform they want to be working on. You don't have to, with 22 people, you can't pick and choose like who's going to use what, right? It's too many people. So just have them choose what they want to work on, right? And then give them spreadsheets for each platform.